it it it, it happens anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't think that needs to be a big selling point half the time.
Sure.
I just, if it's something that appeals to you, then pick it up.
Yeah. Well, another thing I wanted to talk about too, and it seems like a lot of people that know your art and have bought it over the years, they know you have a visual impairment. Can you talk to us a little bit about?
Sure.
You're considered to be legally blind.
Legally blind. Yep. Yeah. And the way I do a lot of my work is under magnifying lenses. It is a condition that I was born with called Stargardt's, and I guess it wasn't diagnosed until I was about in fifth grade. And it's a degenerative condition that, in my case, for a period of time way back then, it was rapidly deteriorating, but then it tended to stabilize. It still, decreases my vision over the years, but at a very slow pace. And,
so would like LASIK or some of these operations be able to?
No, because this is in the back of the retina. Is where it has to deal with the rods and the cones and the vessels back there. So there's nothing really they can do for that.
Well, it seems like it hasn't been an obstacle for you to create masterpieces here. So.
No, I guess I always thought, well, I'll just paint bigger if I need to.
There you go. Yeah. At what age did you find that you had the talent to do this line of work?
Oh, I was young. I used to go down to the Dayton's Auditorium to the Wildlife Heritage Show, and when I was in grade school, I guess, and I always saw Les Kuba and Moss and all the biggies, and I thought someday this is what I'd like to be doing. So, and I was always artistic as far as drawing, and started with paint by numbers, and eventually just went on to painting my own pieces.
Nice. So at what age was the first piece you sold besides a family member?
Yeah, I think the first one I was in ninth grade. I did a painting in art class, and I was walking down the hall with it after it was done, and another student bought it.
Nice.
Sold it for $75.
Wow. At ninth grade, that's
Yeah, it was a chunk of change back then.
Sure. That probably got you inspired to do another one?
Yeah. It's cool. Kept me motivated.
Well, let's talk about, this oil painting here behind us here. Let's talk about this piece.
Well, this last year I was the featured artist for the Minnesota Deer Classic that was held at the State Fairgrounds. And this was the piece that I did for that. It's called Passing the Buck. Had an idea of putting a deer hunter in a tree, looking at a couple of deer out in the field, kind of holding off on the one that was out there, waiting for the big one to come along, which he has, but the big one's also sees the hunter out there, so he's going to be avoiding him, unfortunately. But it had really good success at the Deer Classic. The prints have been doing real well. This is a 980 edition also, and I had fun doing it, and I guess due to the success of it, I was recently called by the promoter for the show, and they want me to come back next year and be the featured artist again for the 25th anniversary.
Wow, that's awesome.
Of the Minnesota Deer Classic.
So. Yeah, if for people at home that haven't been to the Deer Classic, Hugh Price holds the Deer Classic. It's down at the Coliseum at the State Fairgrounds. And if you like deer hunting or just deer in general, if you go down there, you're going to see some of the best exhibitors and world record deer from all around the country that Hugh gets in there on display. A lot of taxidermy mounts, different stand manufacturers. But yeah, I helped Jim at this last year's show. We were right at when you walk in the front door. You couldn't miss Jim's booth there. And I think we sold, if I remember right, close to 60 prints of this at that show.
Just at the show
the big prints.
Right.
And we ran out of framed ones, I think, by the middle of the second day. We could have probably sold another 50 framed ones. People wanted to buy them framed. They were worried about maybe damaging them in transport. But that was my best show at the Deer Classic. I've been doing that show for years, and like I said, it really helps when you're there, And I like to tell people, hey, Jim's over here. Come on, say hi to him. And I think you must have had writer's cramp for a couple of weeks after that.
There was a lot of signing going on, yeah, with the little free print that we were handing out at the door. Yeah. And but it's still, I think the busiest I was with a previous appearance that I did with you years ago.
Okay. Which show was that one?
Well, it was during the holiday season when you had me come out, and I was scheduled for 2 hours to do a signing, and I think it ran into 6 hours, and I finally had to put a stop to it because my hand was getting so sore. My signature wasn't too legible at that point anymore.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, though, is, you know, Jim, your art has been so affordable over the years. It's so easy for someone just to spontaneously just buy a piece, you know. Your large pieces framed up, you know, it's very affordable. So it's easy for people to just justify a spur of the moment buy. You know, we were out in a busy mall, people walking by, and you know how a feeding frenzy forms when there's a crowd there. You know, and I think that really helps. And I think I try to be as good as I can to get a crowd forming. And hey, do you know Jim's over there? Come on over. You know. So I just get excited that people get a chance to meet you guys. So
well, it's nice to know that, you know, there's so many people out there that appreciate and like this type of artwork, and you know, that's what keeps me going and trying to come up with bigger and better pieces.
Sure. Well, you know, I don't have it on yet as far as all your originals available, but you know, Jim here has a lot of original paintings that are for sale, and a lot of canvas prints that look like the originals. They frame up just like an original with no glass, no glare, as well as paper prints that we traditionally frame with glass and matting. But if you go on my website, www.artbarbarians.com, you'll be able to see all of Jim's work, and underneath the images we list the formats that it's available in, whether it's a print or a canvas print, and I'm going to try to get all the originals on there, get that up to date. But you know, I think over the years I've sold like 50, maybe 60 original paintings, you know, and thousands of prints. So really the prints are, you know, kind of what drives my business and probably your business too. But, you know, as far as like, you know, I try to ask all the artists that come on here, quality in the reproductive process of the canvases, you know, tell me what that's done for your business.
Well, the technology these days has improved in the printing industry so much that like the canvas giclée editions that you create from the originals, you know, it's hard to distinguish between the two, I think, unless you get up really close. I mean, the quality is so good on those that it's nice to have that option for people. You know, the prints that I have, you know, they range from small to large, and the same with pricing. You know, there's cheaper or more affordable to more expensive depending on what they're looking for.
Sure. You know, I'll tell you what, let's take a quick break, and during the break we'll show a bunch of your artwork so people at home get a chance to see some of the diversity that you've done over the years. And we'll jump right back in with talking about some of the art here. So I want everyone at home to stay tuned, and we'll be right back with more Jim Hansel. Hi, and welcome back. We're joined with artist Jim Hansel here. Jim, okay, let's talk about the turkey piece behind you here, if we could.
Yeah, well, that's called Spring Fever. It's actually only the second turkey piece I've ever done. The first piece I did went into the the National Ducks Unlimited print package, and they had such success with that one. I thought, well, I'm going to follow it up and do another one. This one's been doing real well too. This is another image that's only 248 edition size. It was just featured on the, I think it's Wisconsin Outdoors magazine. It was on the cover.
Well, good publicity for you, huh?
Yeah, right.
You never get enough of that, right?
No, I'll take it.
There you go. Yeah, I know, like, I've seen your art appear on all kinds of different things. I mean, as an artist, you do a painting with the idea maybe of being printed, but, you know, you guys put it on pillows. I mean, what are some of the other things?
There's lots of products, yeah. Tabletops, mirrors, mugs, calendars,
sure. I mean,
T-shirts.
If you think of, like, in your house at home of how much art you really have in there, you'd be shocked that, you know, artists like Jim here, you know, how much of that is a very big part of your revenue. I mean. So,
yeah, it plays a good, sizable role.
Sure.
You know.